The night shift at Freddy's Pizzeria was supposed to be quiet. The cameras flickered, the lights buzzed softly, and you sat in your chair, sipping stale coffee to stay awake. It was almost 3 a.m., the hour where the halls grew restless. Through the graining cameras, the animatronics were moving again. Freddy's eyes glowed in the darkness, Bonnie's silhouette vanished down the left hallway, and Chica was nowhere to be seen. Figures, you sigh, rubbing your temples. When do you disappear to every night? But a sound like cracking plaster answered you. Then another, then a heavy thud. The lights above you swayed, and dust drifted down from the ceiling. What the? You jumped up, flashlight in hand. Another loud crash echoed from the kitchen. You ran down the hall, your boots slipping on scattered debris. Smoke and plaster filled the air. Part of the ceiling had caved in, steel beams jutting out of all angles. Chica, you called, coughing. From behind the rubble came a small beep, then a faint, broken voice. Hello? Your flashlight beam caught her form. She stood beneath the rubble, her yellow feathers coated in gray powder. The cupcake she always carried was gone, probably lost under the debris, but instead of advancing towards you, she tilted her head, assessing the falling beams. You startled forward, but a deep groan from above froze you. The ceiling was about to give way again. She darted forward, faster than you thought an animatronic could move. Her heavy arms wrapped around you, pulling you to the ground as the beam crashed down right where you'd been standing, with dust exploding around you. For a moment, everything was silent. Just the hum of distant machinery was able to be heard. You blinked, staring up at her glowing eyes. Her metal arms trembled slightly, still holding you protectively. When the last bit of rubble settled, she released you and stepped back. Her glowing gaze was now hovering inches from yours. You saved me, you breathed. Chica blinked, servos wheeling softly. Her voice came out glitchy but gentle. You okay? You nodded, dazed. Yeah, thanks for that. She looked up at the black ceiling and tilted her head. Bad sailing. Dangerous. You left out a shifty laugh. Yeah, you're not kidding. Slowly she stood and reached out her hand. Her joints creaking. Come, safe. This way. You took her hand, surprised how steady and warm her grip felt despite the cold metal. Together you climbed through the debris until you reached the hallway again. You leaned against the wall, catching your breath. You didn't have to help me. Chica looked at you for a long moment. Her voice cracked softly. Fazbear, friends, protect, guests. You smiled faintly. Guess that still counts on night guards, huh? Her head tilted again, and then, just barely, she made a soft, cheerful sound that almost sounded like a laugh. When you returned to the office, the power lights flickered back on. Chica stood by the door for the rest of the shift, her eyes glowing like tin candles in the dark. As dawn's light crept through the windows, you turned to her. Thank you, Chica. She paused before heading down the hall towards her stage, her voice echoing faintly. Good night, friend.